Hi, pre-algebra parents and students. I'm down here on that bottom right-hand corner. My name is Mr. Heil, or Joe Heil. I wanted to introduce myself and let you get to know a little more about pre-algebra and what's to come in the year. So, what we're going to be doing in pre-algebra is we're going to be taking 2 years of material and putting them into 1 year. We're going to do all of 7th grade, and we're going to do a portion of 8th grade. This leads to a really fast-paced class, and you really have to kind of stay up on your work and really make sure that when you have a question, you are asking it, staying after, whatever it is. You don't want to fall behind when you're in this advanced class. So what we use for a lot of this year is the illustrative math by Open Up Resources. We're going to do, again, all the 7th grade curriculum and then part of the 8th grade. So in 7th grade, we're going to do scale drawings, proportional relationships. We're going to talk about circles, area, circumference, and do some applications of those. More proportions with percentages. We're going to talk about rational number arithmetic, so dealing with positives and now negative numbers, both integers and fractions and decimals. We're also going to be doing expressions, equations, and inequalities. We'll do 7th grade of that and some 8th grade equations as well, where x's show up or variables show up on both sides and we have to solve for those. Angles, I put both 7th and 8th because there's a angles curriculum that you need to go through for 7th grade, which would be complementary, supplementary, vertical, and then there's triangle angles that add up to 180 degrees, interior and exterior angles, and then in 8th grade we also have parallel line cut by a transversal. So we'll do all of that angle work. Probability is its own unit, and then statistics, and then 8th grade material towards the end of the year we'll also do exponents and scientific notation, transformations or transformational geometry on a coordinate plane, linear equations, and then systems of equations. So again, that's a lot that we have to cover in this 1 year. So it's really going to be quick, fast paced, and we're really going to be pushing. So what to expect? You're going to be assigned nightly homework. Almost every single night you're going to get homework. So let's count it as a treat if you don't get it, but let's come in expecting nightly homework. An expectation is that the student is focused and needs to be a self-motivated and self-advocating learner. So that means that when something's given to the student, that they're really going to take it and move forward with it, that they're motivated to learn, they want to learn, they want to be in that classroom. And self-advocating meaning if they have a problem or if they have an issue or if they have a question, they can ask that question and not feel any issues with that. So what if I fall behind? What if I have that question, or what if I miss a few days? I'm almost always available after school, during lunch. We can set some things up. If I have a study hall and they have a study hall, they could come in and work with me. Using some technology, we are always going to be having our materials in online form in Google Classroom. So I'll do the normal stuff in school, but then I'll also post our notes and our filled in notes on Google Classroom. So let's say you're home and you've missed a few days, you can keep up, as long as you have the workbook, you can keep up with us by watching videos in Classroom and then taking the notes and working on the homework. If you have questions, feel free to email me, and I'll share my email at the end of this presentation. And that's same for the students throughout the year. Send me an email and I'll try to get back to you and work with you on whatever your question is. There is a high importance of tests and quizzes. Our grading policy in 7 and 8 moving forward really puts tests and quizzes at a higher level, especially for advanced classes. And the reason for that is that we're preparing you to take a Regents in 8th grade. We want to make sure that you understand how to study for a test. We want to make sure that you understand how to take distractors out from your own brain or the classroom and really focus on what you're trying to work on when you are taking a test. So the tests and quizzes might be a little elevated of a percentage compared to what they have been in previous years. So what kind of calculator do I need? This is a question I get all the time. So the calculator TI-30X IIS is the 7th grade calculator and the normal 8th grade calculator that students use. I have a classroom set that students can use while in the classroom. That calculator, the TI 30X IIS, that is the calculator that students can use for their 7th grade assessment, their New York State 7th grade assessment. So I want to make sure that students know how to use that. They can also use the TI-84 Plus or the TI-84 Plus CE. These two calculators, when I was in school, I used a TI-83 Plus, so even that would work for you. But these calculators are graphing calculators. They're not allowed on the New York State 7th grade assessment, but are what you will use for your Regents if you make it through pre-algebra and take algebra as an 8th grader. So it's a great thing to have to kind of prepare yourself with. I can teach both the TI-30X IIS and the TI-84 Plus calculators during the year. I just want to make sure you understand that you can't use the graphing calculator, the TI-84 Plus, on the state assessment, the New York State assessment, but you will be able to use it in class for our quizzes and our tests. The other thing that we will do is when we get after the New York State assessment, I'm hoping to sign out some graphing calculators from the high school, and then our last few units are linear equations and systems of equations, and really kind of teach you how to use some of those graphing calculator things before you jump into algebra. So that's going to be one of the things I'm going to try to do. So if you have your own graphing calculator, that'd be awesome, but that is not a requirement for you. It's just something that might be nice to get used to before you have to use it next year in algebra. So if you have any questions about this video or about the class for pre-algebra next year, please send me an email, jheil, H-E-I-L, @marcellaschools.org. I look forward to next year and meeting all of you, and I can't wait to get to work. Thanks.